Hello, my name is Sheila Ingram Beal. I'm doing a presentation for my psychology class. I am a Richmond Community College student. This is my student ID for the current year. I'm doing the best I can to show you this on the screen, and that is my name. All right, so I'll get started right away. So let me share my screen. One moment. Let's see. All right, so you know what? We're doing a presentation on memory, right? I just can't remember. So what I wanted to do is go into effective studying strategies that we all as students probably can benefit from. So let's get right to it. Today's agenda is strategies to improve our memorization. How do I study effectively? We need to make it count, right? When we study, we don't need to waste time. And what works for me? When I say what works for me, I mean what works for me personally, because what works for me may not work for you. Improving our memorization. Is it just me that has memory failure? Well, according to the research that we have read into our books on memorization, most of us have or has suffered or will suffer from a memory failure in our lifetime. So, and with that, most of us that suffer from it want to improve it. So I know I personally want to improve it. So I went through the research and I'm going to be implementing the things that I took in from the research going into my future effective study habits if I have not already started implementing it. So if we have not suffered from memory failure personally, most of us have witnessed someone else who suffered from it. Like my mom who went through an early stage of dementia, but I'm not going to get into that particular subject because that goes a little bit beyond what we're diving in today. Strategies to improve our memory. Enhance my memory, please. How do we go from short term memory, short term information getting into our brain and then just being dumped out and transition it to long term memory? In our research, there are some great strategies that will enable all of us to hold on to what we want to keep for a longer term in our memory bank, such as chunking, elaborative rehearsal, and the use of mnemonic devices. What? What are these things that you're talking about, Sheila? Well, chunking is just the fact of us just organizing the information that we receive into smaller bits and chunks. So we're bringing it all in, and then our brain is moving different pieces that relate to each other into different bits. Elaborative rehearsal, thinking on the new information that we're taking in, right? But then when we think on it, we're trying to see how it relates to the information that we already have in our memory bank or from things that we have, got taken in from our daily lives, right? Mnemonic devices, they're memory aids for us that we can use to help us organize the information that we're taking in for the encoding purposes. So mnemonic devices are when we use like little acronyms to help us associate something to meaning. So how do I study effectively? How do I make it count, Sheila? So we're all unique and differently made, right? So the way that I can effectively study may not work for you, and the way that you effectively study may not work for me. But thankful to the researchers of today and their thought process, because they have come up with ways that we can effectively study and make it count, right? So here are a few of the ways that you can try to implement to help you effectively study as you're in school, like me. All right. Like I said before, using that elaborative rehearsal, think about it and link it to other information and memories that are important to you. Think about the information that you just read in your book and see if you can kind of link it to something that's already in your memory bank or something that's already important to you. That one doesn't work for me that much. I'm sure I have used it on occasion or two. Use the effect of self reference. So, through the elaborative rehearsal part, start taking in the information, writing it out for your own understanding, right? Taking the words, making it more understandable for you, or just relating it to something that you've learned in another class or from your daily life. That one works for me sometimes because I do think that when I take down information and then I put it in layman terms for myself, I'm pretty good at it. Using distributive practice. Don't cram it. Over time and in short duration is key for using disruptive practice. This is the best one that works for me because I don't like to cram information because I am personally definitely not going to retain it. Some people can. Some people love cram sessions. It's just not for me. So these are three different strategies, three different takeaways that we can start to implement or maybe use. But again, additional research, going out there finding out what works for you and trying them is going to be the best thing for you. And then just realize that even though you try one for one situation, it may not work for the next situation or the next class. So you might wind up using more than one, like I do. I do the effective or self reference, and I also do the distributed practice. So here's our final takeaways. Memory failure may occur, but don't fret. If it does, there are ways that we can work to improve our memorization from taking it from short term to long term memory. We can try different strategies to obtain memorization of important information, and we can use what works best for us and apply it in that particular situation or class that we need it for. All right. So, thank you very much. Again, my name is Sheila Ingram Beal. I am doing this presentation on memory, memorization, techniques, strategies for the Department of Psychology for the Richmond Community College. Have a blessed day.